All right. We're now live on Soul of the Skull, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long, long while, but we're back today because the Vikings are 12-2. And we're back to talk about this team. So, yeah, we got us four, larger crowd than usual. Sam Z couldn't make it today, but he's saving the world, so good for him. But yeah, with that, the Vikings are surprisingly 12-2, and no one saw that coming. They are coming off of a 30-12 victory on Monday Night Football this past week over the Chicago Bears. Vikings have had they've been winning games. They've had stretches where they look great. They've had stretches where they're just kind of unknown what they are, but that's just how this team is this year. But I think where would be the best place to start here? Where do we unpack this? There's so much to talk about, so much to say.
I think we got to talk about what Sam Darnold's been doing. Is a good place to start.
You can lead us off, Big Lou. You're the one that has introduced the topic.
I'm just honestly shocked that the Vikings can go from the kind of terrible we did last year, just not very good, to a 12-2 team with a free agent signing for how much did we even sign him for?
10 mil.
10 mil? That we have a quarterback that's been able to produce as much as he has. Yes, granted, he has all these weapons, but, man, he's taking full advantage of his situation, and he's making himself out there so that his next contract's probably, 30-40 million?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm just super happy with what the coaches have done to grab Sam Darnold, get J.J. McCarthy there, and, they're building this team up. So I'm just super happy with where everything's been going and how well Darnold's been playing.
Yeah, that was perfect there. And touching on that, I think that this coaching staff is just excellent. The whole staff the Vikings have, from front office to coaching, is unbelievable. Josh McCown, Wes Phillips, Kevin O'Connell, possibly coach of the year. And then Kwesi. I think people really need to give a lot of credit to Kwesi for what he's done in building this team. They had the chance to bring back Kirk Cousins, and they said no. And look what the Falcons have done now. They've kind of put themselves in a hole, and that could have been Minnesota, but they knew where to draw the line. And bringing in Sam Darnold for a pretty cheap contract and using that money to a lot to other positions, especially on defense, it's just done so well. And by far the best season we've ever had out of Sam Darnold. This is the most passing yards he's ever had in a season, most touchdowns by a landslide. He's got 29 passing touchdowns this year. His previous most was 19, which was in 2019, his second season in the NFL. And, I guess I don't know what else there really is. Best passer rating of his career by a pretty good margin, too. He's got a passer rating of 105, which is something no one would have ever expected out of a guy like Sam Darnold. So this coaching staff is great. And Kevin O'Connell really is the quarterback whisperer. I can't wait to see what Kevin O'Connell can do with a truly established quarterback that he chooses on his own, like J.J. McCarthy or someone that they truly love, to see the things that he can do with them. So excellent work to this staff, without a doubt. And hopefully they'll all be getting an extension in the offseason here.
Oh, yeah.
With that said, what would you guys do about the quarterback position? If it was up to you right now, would you bring back Sam Darnold for another contract and have JJ keep sitting behind him? Or maybe even, it's a bit of a risky play, but I've even seen the possibility of bringing back Sam Darnold and trying to trade away JJ McCarthy, because you don't want to waste him, or just move off Darnold completely and say McCarthy's our future. If it was up to you guys, what would you probably do if you had the decision?
What's our current cap space we have available for the next couple years? Does anyone know that?
Great question. I'll look for you.
I'd say move away from Sam Darnold.
I'm also on the same page as that.
I think it's been decided by this staff, this coaching staff. I mean, this has kind of been the get Sam paid year. Come ball out for a season, resurrect your career here, and then go get your deal with whoever. I mean, he's going to be the top quarterback on the market this year. He's going to get $30+ million, like a 4-year, $30 million deal at least. I think when you look at their cap space, they do have a reasonable amount, but you have guys you have to pay. You have Byron Murphy, Cam Bynum, just to name a couple. So I think with this current cap situation, getting that rookie on a rookie deal for quarterback is such a huge advantage when it comes to your cap number and all that stuff. So being able to not just re-sign these guys like Cam Bynum and Byron Murphy, but bring in some other quality free agents to fill potential holes like guard is really important. And I think they would just completely screw up the books if we paid Sam Darnold this contract he's going to get.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as that. I'll just answer your question, Big Lou. That was a great question. The Vikings currently, as of right now, have $78 million in cap space for next year, which will go down because you got some guys you're going to bring in and pay and whatnot. But that's currently 6th most in the NFL as of right now for next year.
Do we have to pay Addison next year?
No.
Or is he still in front of
he's had for like 2 years.
He's got least 2 more.
I guess we have his 5th-year option for his rookie deal, don't we?
It's his second
year. Or third season. I'm already forgetting.
It's his second.
Oh, so then he's still got 2 years beyond this.
That's
and
nice.
His 5th-year option too.
So I heard this option online. What if we franchise tag Darnold and then trade him?
I don't think they're going to do that. I think Sam Darnold. I think that's kind of a professional thing to do, where you just let Sam leave and negotiate his contract.
At the same time, though, if we make the Super Bowl, would you consider keeping him then?
I think if it's the Super Bowl, then it'd be a little different conversation. But if this team goes to like the divisional round or even the NFC Championship and loses, like, I don't think he's back.
Unless Sam Darnold was willing to take a massive pay cut and take the same deal he did.
That'd be the only way to do like a 1 or 2 year deal for like.
If that were the case, yes, very unlikely, obviously.
I think for the Vikings team, a tag and trade would work out great for the Vikings. Not necessarily for Darnold, but it also puts you obviously in a risky situation because if you tag him, can't find a buyer, now you're stuck with Sam Darnold at $50 million or whatever it is. So that's a lot of money. If it worked out, it would be good because the Vikings could get definitely good draft capital. But even if he walks away and gets somewhere, you're still going to get a 3rd-round compensatory pick for it, which isn't like mind-boggling, but it's definitely something. So
it's a comp pick, yeah.
So it'd be a risky play, but it's
a possibility. I think whatever team is looking for him is going to want to dictate the terms of his contract too. They're not going to want to have him come in on a 1-year franchise tag deal.
Yeah, it would have to be a tag and an extension probably worked out already. Yeah. And then the transaction happens and whatnot.
If we're all saying that Darnold we think is going to be released, what is the most probable team then?
It depends on. I mean, this draft class for quarterbacks isn't super deep, so I think he'd be looking at potentially the Giants, potentially the Raiders, Jets maybe. Although, who knows what Aaron Rodgers is going to do? Saints maybe. Although I think the Saints are going to be bad next year and then try to grab Arch at some point. But who knows?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell because I think Sam Darnold like this is only going to work with some teams and some coaches. So I guess from a player perspective, I'd be fearful of him going to an incompetent organization like the Jets from that era and the same thing repeating itself pretty much. Definitely possibility to have happen. But like Kevin O'Connell's so good. Like he made Josh Dobbs 2-2, the best Kirk Cousins we've ever seen in our life. 12-2 on Sam Darnold, and every other. I don't have the stats up, but every other. He's probably won a third of his games with every other.
I think he was 500. I think he was 8-8 as a starter, or maybe
Career. Well, he was. I don't know what he was career wise, but obviously not great. But Kevin O'Connell's just done so excellent. He's made Nick Mullins into a 400-yard per game passer. Granted, he also does throw 4 picks in there, but
that's just your Nick Mullins experience.
That's average Nick Mullins game.
Sam Darnold's career record right now is 33-37. That's including this season.
33-37. So let's take 11-2 out of that. That would be 22.
22-35.
Yeah.
Previously, so
that's
he's almost a 500 quarterback now.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Another player. What do you guys think about this? His name is Aaron Jones, and he's going to be a free agent this offseason as well. What do you guys think about that? Because
draft a running back.
Depending on his contract, how much he wants, which I feel like Aaron Jones isn't the type of guy to go big fish hunting anymore. He's also older in his career. I would not mind bringing Aaron Jones back again. He's got a lot more tread than I thought he did on the tires.
I think this is going to be one of the big conversations once Darnold is gone. Like once it's been clear that Darnold's going to be gone, I think the big conversation is going to be Aaron Jones, because I think Bynum will get extended, and I think Byron Murphy will get extended. The Vikings kind of need those guys. So I've already seen some discourse about Aaron Jones. I mean, he's had a great season. Like the Viking, like with Kevin O'Connell, you're never going to have it's never going to be like a run-centric offense. Obviously, he likes to throw the ball. Sometimes a little too much. I think sometimes he kind of forgets he can run the ball. But I mean, part of the offense this year that's been great is just the balance. I think they're like the 15th ranked rushing offense, which is kind of what you need. And I think Aaron Jones has done a lot for that. The offensive line's been a little bit better too, but I think Aaron Jones is, you have to have that conversation, because otherwise you're going to be shopping or looking in the draft or something like that.
Well, do we move on from Jones and still keep Akers around? Because he's been doing decent.
Is Akers on a multi-year? Or is this just a 1 year?
No, he's on a 1 year. I think Akers has shown that he can be at a high-end RB2. I don't think he's a run RB1. I think he's the guy, I think he could I think bringing both of them back and, maybe giving Akers some more run, because he's been good to keep Jones healthy, which they have been doing more down the stretch, could be solid too. So we'll see.
I guess I'll retract my statement about Jones, because I do kind of forget he's on the older side of things for a running back. Bring him back on a cheaper deal if that's what he wants, if that's what he's asking, and draft a potential Omarion Hampton, Ashton Genty. I don't think he'll fall to us.
There's a few.
Go ahead.
There's a few interesting running back names. The Vikings they're going to get a 3rd-round comp pick for Kirk probably, but I don't know if they're going to get other comp picks for anyone. But right now they only have a 1st and 2 5ths. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Dylan Sampson's a name I really like in the draft. I think he's a good running back coming out. Omarion Hampton, like you said, obviously everyone knows Ashton Genty is a very good player. But I think Genty is going to go to the Cowboys. I think it
would make the most sense. I know very early in the mock drafts and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a few other
falling to the Vikings, but I mean, if it happened, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, there's a few other interesting names. I haven't looked too much in the draft yet, though, because the Vikings are 12-2.
Yeah, Matt, I think this is what you were kind of alluding to, but yeah, what if they brought back Aaron Jones and got a running back? It doesn't even have to be like a 1st or a 2nd or a big round pick. It can be a mid-round pick, and they do a 1-2 punch, almost like the Lions do with Montgomery and Gibbs. They could do that kind of a thing.
That's what the question then becomes: what happens to a guy like Ty Chandler? Does he cut, or does he have any value in a trade?
I think he's someone you maybe deal for like a 5th or 6th round pick. He's on a rookie deal, so he'll probably garner some interest. in the
I feel
trade
like
market. He's played
everyone's
some
been
games.
waiting for Ty Chandler to do something, but he never does anything.
And I mean, the
So,
trade to get Cam Akers kind of just proved that the team just doesn't really trust Ty.
Oh, that's exactly what they said when that trade happened. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe running back Cam Akers and Aaron Jones, I wouldn't be opposed to. And then, I mean, you can have one more year at Ty Chandler. He has 1 year left on his rookie deal after this. Or maybe, grab a guy in the 5th round.
yeah. Let's think. Who else is all free agents? Someone was talking about Byron Murphy, and who's the other one? I thought 2 corner free agents.
Well, Bynum, but he's a safety. And then
Bynum.
Gilmore and Shaquille Griffin are too.
So pretty much their whole secondary.
Yeah.
Gilmore, I don't think we won't want back.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think he's going to be gone.
If he wanted to come back, sure.
I don't know.
I don't know how
I
much
think he's been solid. I don't know. I personally think that the Vikings need to go corner in the 1st round. Just looking
Get
at
Mekhi Blackman back next year. Fingers
you'll
crossed
have
he
him
stays
back.
healthy.
Then hopefully Murphy extended, and then you go grab, I don't know, a corner. I'd love Travis Hunter, but he's not going to fall.
Does he even play corner in the NFL?
Yeah. I think what's going to happen with Travis is he's going to play corner, and then I think he'll probably play 10 snaps a game on offense or something like that. Would be my guess.
So, with that said, I guess looking at Sunday, it's kind of a must-win game for the Vikings at this point. Every game is a must-win if they want to have that number 1 seed or win the NFC North or all the above. They're playing the Seahawks, who are, I'm not exactly even sure what they're.
7-7.
They're 7-7, so about as mid as you can get there. Geno Smith probably will play. Will he be altered by his injury? Potentially. And, I mean, the Seahawks, they started the year, 3 or 4-0 or something, and then no one talks about him anymore. They also have both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett on their injury report, whether you want to buy into that. Oh, actually, Lockett was a rest, so you can ignore him. But DK Metcalf didn't practice yesterday with a shoulder injury. Could be of note, as well as half the rest of their team. They also have no healthy running backs except for their 3rd-string dude. So that's of note, especially also considering this will come into one of my predictions later. It's supposed to be rainy on Sunday in Seattle. No surprise. It means there could be a lot more running the ball and less passing. So the running back position may be of more value this week, and the Seahawks are lacking that right now. Trying to think, who is their... What's that guy? Kenneth Walker. Forgot his name for a minute. He hasn't played in a few weeks. Zach Charbonnet. Is it Charbonnet or Charbonnet?
Charbonnet, yeah.
Charbonnet did not practice yesterday, I don't believe either. So they're pretty hampered there. Yeah, they've got things up and down the board, which definitely could be of value, especially on offense. They've got a lot of pieces out. So we'll see, but must-win game, especially considering that the Lions played the Bears. Should be able to win that, but also the Bears did almost beat them the last time they played, except Eberflus decided to be a dummy, but that's its own thing. But yeah, I feel like this game, it's not going to be a blowout by any means. It's cold, it's rainy. Seahawks are definitely still fighting and in the hunt, so they're not cooked at all. But everyone obviously is really looking forward to their games against Green Bay and Detroit. That's going to be quite the fun times seeing those games coming up. So let me think. What else is there really to add about this game?
Yeah, I think things just get weird when the Vikings go to Seattle. They haven't won there since 2006, and this is a team that's kind of had their number. I know it's not a lot of times it's not relevant because obviously it's a different roster, but I just feel like the Vikings never win in Seattle. But I mean, obviously this team's been doing a lot. They've been blowing teams out. they've had more 17-point wins this year than they had. I think they're their first 17-point win since 2019 this year. So, I mean, this team's obviously, this team's good. And then this team's been really good, and Seattle's been reeling a little bit. So, it'll be interesting.
I feel like Kevin O'Connell, is completely just rewriting everything, because the fear mongers have been saying, oh, the Vikings struggle in Chicago. And then Kevin O'Connell got here, and now they've been very successful. Oh, well, they don't do good after the bye week. Okay, well, Mike Zimmer's teams never did good the week after the bye. This is Kevin O'Connell. Oh, they always do really bad when they go to Seattle. This isn't Mike Zimmer's team anymore. This is
going to be Kevin O'Connell's first time in Seattle, so we'll see how it goes. But
yeah, we'll just have to see. But I feel like that's something I've noticed this year, is I keep seeing, especially on Twitter, the fear mongers talk about the Vikings and, oh, they've historically done so bad at this. But that was an old team. This is a new team. And they've just done so excellent at forgetting about the past and embracing the present, one could say. So, yeah. But, I mean, if you think about it, this Vikings team's almost 14-0. They're pretty close. They lost a close one to Detroit, and they lost a close one against the Rams. And that's it. They could be.
They're two Chiefs referees away from having an undefeated season.
Yes. So, definitely been real good, but let's see. What else is there all to add? Oh, I never changed the thing, but that's okay.
One thing I want to do, I just looked up the Vikings turnover ratio. It's at 8.
It's like +8.
I think so. I'm assuming that's what it means. But yeah,
I think
+8 is
pretty sure. I don't know if I saw this somewhere, or maybe Joe Buck talked about it on Monday during the game, that the Vikings are the only team in the NFL to have forced a turnover in every game so far this year.
Really?
So I'm pretty sure I saw that or heard that somewhere. So big testament to the defense for.
Yeah. Here's a massive testament to the defense. The Vikings have 41 touchdowns. Their opponents have 27.
Yeah. Another good question here. What do you guys think is going to happen with Brian Flores?
He'll be a head coach.
You think he's going to get it this year?
If other teams don't offer him, it's a tragedy.
I mean, he didn't even get an interview last.
Do you think the lawsuits are going to be gone by then, or if no teams gonna want to hire him because of the lawsuits?
I think he's going to be a head coach.
I think regardless.
I mean, I think he's the best. I think he's the best coach in the NFL that's not currently a head coach. I think he's the best assistant in the NFL. I mean, you look at what the defense has been doing this year and last year. I think a team has to take a chance on him.
This might be a really dumb question, but what real purpose does the lawsuit play in him not getting hired? Are teams scared of him?
Teams don't want that PR.
Bad? Or like, what is it?
Yeah, the PR is the best way to put it. Sort of negative.
Yeah. I see it. But like the Vikings took a chance on him and it's worked out great.
He was there before he filed those, though.
Yeah. And it's a little different when you're just the defensive coordinator versus being a head coach.
Yeah. So, yeah, if he's
but we'll see. Maybe he'll decide, hey, I just want to be a defensive coordinator. Great. We'll keep you here for as long as you want to be here.
Or he'll be like,
you got it, bud.
He's got more potential to like win here than head coach probably at the places that would take him.
Yeah, but I think he'd want to be a head coach over. Would be my guess.
He's kind of. It seems like O'Connell's basically giving him free reign of the defense.
Well, yeah,
and he
gave Ed Donatel free reign, and look how that turned out.
Oh yeah, but look at how this is turning out with Flores. So from what I've heard, is he's pretty much like a head coach without the head coach title for the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of that's the case. And you look at good teams in the NFL, a lot of good, all the good teams have good coordinators, right? Dan Campbell has 2 of them. Dan Quinn has Cliff Kingsbury, who calls the offense. Commanders have been doing great. Kevin O'Connell has Brian Flores. The list just goes on and on. Andy Reid has Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, all good coaches, all good teams have a good coordinator that you can kind of hand that side of the ball to that the head coach doesn't specify or doesn't specialize in. So it could be important keeping him, but I'd guess at this point he's going to be a head coach.
Yeah. Let's just think on that note, what other Viking coaches or staff might not return next year because of a higher position? I think Josh McCown could go as an offensive coordinator somewhere.
Josh McCown got a head coach interview, actually.
Yeah, that was kind of nuts. Bro had no coaching experience, and they're like, yeah, we're going to interview you as head coach.
But, yeah, he could become an offensive coordinator.
What about
maybe Keenan McCardell's?
Yeah.
His name's been thrown around. I think if Flores leaves, you're looking at Mike Saravo or Durante Jones to be just elevated to defensive coordinator. Matt Daniels, I think, could be an interesting name.
Yeah.
Too. So, who knows?
This is kind of random, but who's Greg Joseph kick for?
Oh, he was kicking for he just
Green
missed
Bay.
like a game.
He was kicking for the Commanders last week.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was watching that game, and I was like, how much you want to bet he's about to miss this kick? And then he did. And I was like, yes. Saw that coming. And I saw Anders Carlson, too, where is that dude?
He's kicking with the Jets.
Yeah. That's... Yeah.
The kicking carousel's been crazy this year.
Yeah.
Kickers keep getting hurt.
I think Riley Patterson just got signed for the Falcons. Younghoe Koo's on IR.
Yeah, these kickers keep getting hurt. They're trying too hard to make 80-yard bombs.
You got Brandon Aubrey attempting that 70-yarder last week in Carolina.
Yeah.
At that point, sit a returner back there.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
It didn't go anywhere, but
didn't have enough oomph. Even if it did, it looked like it was going left anyway.
he
Still
pulled it hard.
Pretty sure wasn't the wind going against him too. So it was just like, what are you doing?
It's Mike McCarthy as the head coach. Anything goes.
There's a reason why they're like, I don't even know what the Cowboys' record is, but yeah, there's a reason why they're 6-8. They can still make the playoffs, though. I saw that. If they win out and a whole swath of scenarios happen, the Cowboys could still make it. But yeah, that's that, I guess. What else all is there to really discuss here? I keep seeing so what do you guys think the Vikings are going to do for the rest of the season? Because I keep seeing everyone's so hyped that the Vikings win out and control their own destiny. Well, guess what? Have you looked at their schedule? Yeah, they play two of the best teams in the league still. So what do you guys think is going to happen these last 3 weeks?
Obviously, I have a prediction, actually.
Excellent.
My prediction is what the Vikings record is going to be.
I think if they just make every game competitive, that's all a fan here can ask for.
Yeah. I mean, if you could keep this going into the playoffs, going hot, that'd be ideal. I mean, obviously you want the 1 seed or the 2 seed, whatever happens between tiebreakers and all that crazy nonsense. But you go in with the 5 seed, you go to Tampa Bay. I mean, just go take care of business. That's the best way to control your destiny is just go win.
I was about to say that same thing too. Like having the 1 or the 2 seed or home field for a game is great. But if you're playing the Seahawks, well, we're going to do that this week, like the Seahawks on the road or the Falcons or the Bucks, I mean, it's going to be a good game, but I'm not too concerned like if they were going to Detroit or something like that or Green Bay for a game. That would be a lot tougher. So I don't think it's a big – them getting the 1 seed and all this stuff, it's not the end of the world if they don't at all. Especially – go ahead.
Sorry, you can finish what you're saying. Joel, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's crazy that okay, this might be no offense to any Lions fans out there, but
Jaden Boovie.
Lions, what?
Jaden Boovie.
Yeah, one of our roommates is a Lions fan, or one of my roommates, but no offense to Lions fans, but it's nuts. Let Lions fans keep saying the Vikings are fraudulent. Bro, the Vikings are 12-2 and they're in a rebuild transition year. You're in your win now window and you have the same record.
I mean, the Lions, what's going on with them just sucks though. They've been just depleted within, like, their whole defense is hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I've seen this online too. The Vikings, I was because, you know, the whole point differential thing, but like,
yeah.
And people are talking about how they've only played bad teams recently, but like they've been killing these teams.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these games haven't even, like, even the Titans game wasn't close. They had one like fluky 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And it wasn't close outside of that. And your point differential is like plus 110 or something.
On Twitter, I saw something the other day. I think it was yesterday or whatever day after they beat the Bears. Like the NFL posts, you know, Vikings have won 7 in a row or whatever. So I'm reading the comments on it, and people are like, look at your schedule, bro. Look at the teams they're playing, bro. They just beat the Texans at the beginning of the year. They beat the Niners when they were actually competitive still. They beat the Packers, who were one of the best teams in the league. They almost beat the Lions, who are widely regarded as the best team in the league. Like, yeah.
And another thing with like schedules, this is in college. Vikings, like, they can't control that these teams stink.
Yeah.
You can make them more that.
Like NFL, it's so much different than college too, because like there's not a huge there's not a huge difference between the first ranked team in the NFL and the 32nd ranked team in the NFL. Like it's a few players, you know, maybe a good coaching staff. Whereas in college, you know, you have these teams. You know, Alabama's playing Mercer. Like Mercer obviously can't beat you because they just simply don't have talent. But I mean, all these NFL teams on any given week have the talent to make a game competitive or even beat you. And that's the difference between college and NFL. And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
And then I always see fans be like, oh, like we were saying, the Vikings have such an easy schedule. Well, the Vikings and every other team in their division literally have 3 games that are different from each other. That's it. Every other one is the same. So, sorry, I had to go on a mini rant, a mini tangent. Sometimes the folks on Twitter just kind of make you infuriated with some of the things.
If there's a Packers fan saying that's a fraudulent schedule, they needed a blocked field goal to beat the Chicago Bears.
What I kind of think is going to happen is the Vikings are going to go, they're going to take care of business in Seattle by 1 to 2 scores, and then they're going to have a heartbreaking loss to the Packers, or for some stupidity, even though it's at home, Green Bay, isn't it?
No, it's at Minneapolis.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
And then we're going to go to Detroit and take care of business because Detroit's going to be completely crippled by then. Because don't they have 15 defensive players that are injured right now? I believe is what I saw last, but
yeah.
How many of those players, and I don't mean this like in a bad way, genuine question, how many of those players are actually impact players on their team? Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson and another handful.
I think
a lot of them depth guys, or are they real dudes?
I think a lot of them are like 1 to 2 in their depth.
Okay, so
but I think
rotational still.
I think what I heard was like 5 or 6 of them were actually starters, and then a lot of the other ones were mostly depth. But still, that cripples your defense having that many injuries.
Yeah, it definitely is. But like Lions fans that complain, and they do have a lot of injuries, I'll for sure say that. But welcome to the NFL. Injuries that's a part of the game. It's how it works. It's a business. This is how it goes. And same thing that happened to the Vikings last year. Justin Jefferson hurt like half the year, if not more. They had no quarterback. So, yeah. That's that, I guess. But like even this year, the Vikings are without their best corner heading into training camp.
Lost their best lineman.
Their best linebackers on the IR right now. their other line, or not their best one. I'd say Blake Cashman this year has been better.
Yeah,
But
different roles though. Ivan Pace is still like really important.
they're both excellent players.
Yeah.
So both of their starting linebackers have been hurt at one point or another in the season. Yeah. Even Jordan Addison was hampered at the beginning of the year, but now he's been fine ever since then.
He's been lighting it up.
Yes. He has been. So, yeah. So there we go. That's that. Anyone else got anything? It looks like I just saw here Patrick Mahomes is likely to play this week. So, not really surprised though. Collinsworth's gonna have a heyday knowing that.
Are they on Sunday Night Football?
They're on Saturday.
No, they're on Saturday. So,
Oh,
I think it's like a CBS or Fox game. But even watching it, everyone knows Collinsworth's about to have a heyday with this one, knowing his favorite quarterback's playing. Well, is there anything else here? Or else I suppose we can keep moving along, too. So I got sidetracked. Sometimes you just have to complain about the people on Twitter because they blow your mind sometimes. But
Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen for MVP?
I think it's got to be Josh Allen.
I would agree with that. They've both been great, though. I mean, I will say I've seen a lot of stats and stuff about Lamar, but I haven't watched a lot of Lamar this year. I have watched a fair amount of Josh Allen. He is such a great player to watch, Josh Allen. He does so much, especially lately too.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I mean, Josh is. Yeah. There's been times when he's just put that team on his back, and I mean, the defense has been good, but it hasn't been. There's been games where they've kind of just fallen apart, and Josh Allen's been there to pick up the pieces. And I mean, he's just on a tear this year. It's been crazy.
Obviously, against the Rams, he put up 6 touchdowns, and they still lost. Like, that's putting your team on your back, if I've ever seen it.
And did the same thing against Detroit. Well, obviously, Detroit's offense is
and the Lions too. Like, the Lions obviously are one of the best teams in the NFL, and I mean, I only watched the first half of the game, but it seemed like the Bills consistently had a 2-score lead or more for most of the game until the end. The Lions would score, and they'd be like, and then the Bills would say, "All right, let's do it again," and then it would just keep going back and forth over and over. So, yeah, I should have made a MVP prediction. Maybe next time, maybe next week. Or whatever the next.
MVP is very much in the air yet.
He's gonna say Sam Darnold.
No, I'm just saying, like, you got multiple candidates. You got Lamar Jackson. You got Josh Allen.
Saquon. What about Saquon?
Saquon's in it. I mean, Sam Darnold's like 8th. I think he's 7th or 8th in MVP odds right now. He's above Patrick Mahomes.
I feel like Darnold would be better for comeback player of the year.
So this is another genuine question. Is comeback player of the year classified as player that came back from injury or player that was bad and had a renaissance?
I can't remember because there was a whole discourse over this with DeMar Hamlin and Joe Flacco last
year.
Joe
Flacco just came off his couch and won comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
So that's why
he should be able to win it.
Seeing that and not knowing it. All right, comeback player of the year odds. Currently, okay, there's no way this is real. Maybe it is. On FanDuel, their leader and comeback player of the year is Joe Burrow.
I'm seeing that too.
I feel
that makes sense.
Really? You think?
Yeah. Joe Burrow's been having
100. That's high odds, though.
Yeah. It's Joe Burrow, Dobbins, Darnold, Tim Patrick, Cameron Hayward, Kyler Murray, DeMar Hamlin, Anthony Richardson, Christian Gonzalez, and Justin Herbert are the top 10.
If the Bengals were semi-competent as an organization in general, Joe Burrow would probably be 2nd or 3rd in MVP odds. He might be, actually. He's been having an insane season. It's just that defense can't stop anybody.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. Joe Burrow across a lot of platforms is the favorite, which I did not realize.
I forgot he was out last year, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that over Sam Darnold though, because he's been playing phenomenal. He's just getting screwed.
Yeah, I went on Vegas Insider, which has kind of a bunch of different sports books and odds. Sam Darnold is fairly widely regarded as the number 3 candidate right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing here.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if you call it shortest odds that he's got is on DraftKings. He's plus 800, which is pretty good odds for this. And
We do not
his
promote
highest tier is
gambling here on Soul to
2,500.
Skull.
Yes.
We do
Yes,
not.
we
We
But if
simply
you
this
do,
statistics.
Don't gamble, just look at the odds and formulate your opinions from there, kids. That's what we're teaching you. So, yeah. You think that whether Lamar or who are we just talking about for MVP? Josh Allen. Whoever doesn't win MVP, would they win Offensive Player of the Year probably than the other?
We'll see.
Or
Or
not
I
necessarily.
don't know. Barkley might have a better chance.
I think
at offense.
Saquon would have the better chance for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
I don't really
think
understand
for
how that
defense?
works or why it works that way.
Who do we think for Defensive Player of the Year?
TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he even like getting a lot? I don't even think is he in the sack leaderboard right now?
That's a good
I
question.
just saw the stats. I know Grenard's top 5.
Is Andrew Van Ginkel's got to be in there too, is he? Not?
He's number 5th with 11, I believe.
So, yeah, I just pulled him up. TJ Watt's 3rd, tied for 3rd at 11.5.
Oh, Miles.
You guys know who number 1 is? Big Lou can see it. Take a guess if you don't know.
At what?
At sacks. Who's got the most sacks in the NFL?
Oh, it's the Bang. Is it the Bengals dude?
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson.
No. Or yeah.
Yeah, it's Trey Hendrickson.
I'm surprised who number 2 is.
Who do you guys know, Matt or Sam?
I'm blanking. No.
This player.
Oh, number 2 is it Nick Bonito?
No, I
No,
think
he's
3.
he's tied for 3.
Isn't Nick Bonito like a rookie or in his 2nd year?
Yeah, he's young. He's been tearing it up for the Broncos. Wait, number 2 on the sacks leaderboard?
Yes.
Daniil Hunter?
Yeah.
It is Daniil. He's got 12 sacks on the year.
Yeah.
And then
he's been having a
Bernard
good
has
year, too.
11.
Yep. And then Van
Bernard's
Ginkel's got 9.
My guy.
gang.
I wore my winter whiteout Van Ginkel jersey to the game on Monday.
Excellent jersey choice there.
I guess another try to be unbiased here. It was the best whiteout uniform in the NFL.
I like the Vikings ones are cool. I like the Bengals ones too.
I still think the Bengals are the
Oh, yeah.
I also agree. The black and white is just absolute cinema, one could say.
A game I want to see is the Vikings whiteout versus the Lions with their black and blue.
That'd be cool.
That would be sweet. I was watching. Do you guys like those black uniforms for the Lions? 'Cause I do. I didn't know what to think at first, but
those black and blue ones are clean.
So, yeah. What do you guys think?
I like the black ones.
What other coaches are candidates for Coach of the Year that are not named Kevin O'Connell?
Sean Payton's got to be up there, I would think.
Sean McDermott, Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Has Campbell
Dan
won
Quinn.
before or no?
I don't think he has.
Did Stefanski win again last year, or was it someone else?
Stefanski won last year.
He's won like 3 times, and yet the Browns are still mid, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, do they? Because I'm pretty sure they also do exec of the year, right? Or like executive, like front office personnel.
Dan Quinn's actually
in the running
that's
for that.
opening.
Sean Payton's number 3.
Yeah,
not surprised.
Broncos have been very surprisingly good.
Broncos
Jim Harbaugh's got to be up there for Coach of the Year potentially.
Yep.
I want to say Nick Sirianni, but to be completely honest, he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't.
Except annoy me.
He just has 2 really good coordinators.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore, potential head coach.
Yeah.
I love how we talk about Nick Sirianni as like potential coach of the year after we just talked about firing him after last year, and now it's like bro's back.
I'm not saying he's a coach
Oh,
of
I
the year.
still
I'm
think
not
he's
either.
think so.
But he's
I
been
just think it's
been good.
I just going off of a record. Usually that helps
Yeah.
give people the
He's been
nod.
winning. Winning solves everything.
Yep.
Do they do an executive of the year, or is that not
Yeah.
actually a real word? Because I keep
Yeah.
hearing that.
They do an exec of the year.
Because Kwesi has to be at the top, near the top of the list. I mean, the dude overall philosophy has been excellent. He's hardly made, honestly, any wrong moves, in my opinion, here.
Andrew Booth.
Well, the drafting has been quite questionable. The free agency and philosophy has been spot on, though. But you are right. Andrew Booth.
And that hurts to say.
One
But
could
it's
say
true.
Lewis Seen. One could say.
He did work out, but he's not a bust.
I think till the day we're buried in the grave, we will always argue about that. But whatever. That's okay. But, I mean, he's also hit on Jordan Addison, which was fantastic. So.
Yeah, the Vikings know how to draft a receiver, that's for sure.
Yeah, I saw that. So have you guys been seeing Rick Spielman's been doing like media stuff lately for the past couple of years now?
Yeah, he's on TikTok.
Booted here. He just said that the Vikings should bring back Sam Darnold a few days ago, and I was like, "Yo, this is the most Rick Spielman thing I've ever heard in my life."
That would be a Rick Spielman thing to do.
The dude can't draft a quarterback, so you bring in an established player because he can't do it. I was not surprised to see that at all. So, yeah, that's that. I suppose we can probably move into predictions and stuff. We can look at some of the predictions we got on the board. Some of it's quite funny, let's say. There we go. Hopefully that worked. It did. There we go. That is our predictions. We've got lots of season predictions, lots of good ones, lots of bad ones. Since our last episode, which was ages ago, I've had a lot come off the board, as have some other folks here. So I'll kind of rip through them quick. I said Dodgers would win the World Series. They did. Darnold would throw at least 3 touchdowns against the Colts. I said Dennis Allen would be fired before the season was over. I think he got fired like 4 days after I said that. Pretty sure it was the following week. So should have made it not end of season, but whatever. JJ would play in at least 14 games. Now it seems like kind of a layup, but at the time, that was after he got hurt like half last year. So that's that. And then Lions-Packers game from a while ago. Sam Z had some that were wrong, it looks like. There, we don't really need to go through them because they're old. He said, I've checked up on some of these. The Vikings would have a top 7 yardage defense this year. I think they're like middle of the league, outside of the top 10. So probably not. Still could. Another funny one. He said Ivan Pace would have at least 3.5 sacks this year. I believe he's currently at 3 right now.
Oh, wow.
So he just needs at least a half a sack to do it. He also said Vikings defensive line and linebackers would have over 7.5 interceptions this year. They've had 4. I think
3 have been
Van
Ginkel.
Ginkel.
Oh, yeah. Van Ginkel's returned 2 of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has Van Ginkel had 2 picks, or has he had 3 total?
Like he's had 3 and 2 have been pick sixes.
Yeah.
So
He has so he's fewer. He missed them or dropped one.
So, yeah, that's
Insightful, Samo.
I was making sure you guys were all on the same page too with that one. I don't know if I got any like weird bad predictions at all over here. I said all 4 NFC North teams would finish in the top 10 record wise. Bears probably will not, so it's not going to happen. I said Dallas Turner would have at least 7 sacks. He's only got 2. Dallas Cowboys have a top 5 scoring defense this year. They're currently 31st in the league, so way off. After Mike Zimmer was hired, I thought maybe things were going to happen. Things have not happened. So
where are the Vikings at in that?
Oh, they're up there.
Scoring defense, that's a great question. Opponent points per game. Minnesota's 4th.
Wow.
They've allowed 18 points per game behind the Eagles, Chargers, and Broncos. So, yeah. Sam Z also said they would have more sacks this year than last year. They're 1 away. They had 43, and they currently have 42 so far. And he had a Ty Chandler one that it appears will not happen. Big Lou had nothing come off the board. You got some good ones, though. I don't know if you want to talk about, defend any of your predictions at
a
all.
lot of these were just kind of wild ones that I threw out there, like, maybe they'll hit, maybe they won't. But, like, the TJ Hawkinson one, that's got a decent potential. The Sam Darnold one, it's at 40-plus touchdowns. He's at 30. I made that, like, week 2 as he started doing pretty darn good. So I'm like, it might not hit, but it's close. And then the Vikings, talk about that one. Originally, I just said they'd be top 3 in the NFC. We're specifying record-wise as the Vikings have a better record than most NFC, but may end up being lower ranked, like 5th due to playoffs, whatever. The rest of mine are kind of just your standard picks.
Yeah. Also, as a heads up to anyone, I'm counting the 40 touchdown one as rushing and passing, which I'm assuming is kind of how you wanted it. He's got 29 passing and also a quarterback sneak, so 30 total.
Just do 40.
I don't remember what I was thinking. That was a while ago. So,
well, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Big Lou.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Matt, you had a lot come off the board there. You can speak on those if you would like.
I will, but before that, did you guys see Bobby Wood Jr. got, when he got married, they had a makeshift Whataburger at his wedding, and they named it Whataburger.
I have. Has anyone here ever had Whataburger before?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I've had that
reaction. I think it's good.
You have to try it.
Very good.
The closest I would have is Smash Burger, and that's the only thing like Minnesota. That's pretty good.
No, Whataburger. I had it. I had it when I was on one of my mission trips, and the first time I had it, it was so good that I got it in the airport, like before we left. I got that over Chick-fil-A.
Isn't it only in like the South, Whataburger, like Southern United States?
Yeah, that was the first meal I had after I got out of basic training on Family Day. Was Whataburger.
I don't play Big Lou.
I'm just stalling because I don't want to go over my
pretty darn good
predictions. I said the Vikings would have 3 primetime games. I think they've had 3.
Yeah,
on the nose.
It was 2 until they got flexed into the Colts game.
And I think the Detroit game will end up being a primetime game.
For sure. Yeah. It's got to be, because that can easily decide the number
conference division.
Yeah,
I think if it's for the division, it'll be a primetime for sure.
Even if, it could be for the NFC.
But it should be a primetime Sunday night, not a Saturday game. That's just me. Dexter Lawrence would not be traded. Sounds stupid, but at the time, his name was circulating. He was linked to the Vikings a little bit. I said in like middle June, I said Yankees would win the World Series. They lost in the World Series. I said Addison. Sorry. No, you go. I'm curious.
You guys seen the Dexter Lawrence allegations?
What?
Is it allowed?
Not, you should. I'm not going to talk about them on the podcast, but you should go look that up after we're done.
I'm already scared because if you can't say it here.
Yeah.
Oh, I Googled it and I see what you're talking about. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Sam, you'll love this one. I said Ohio State would win the Big Ten. And
what happened there?
And your Wolverines are the reason they didn't.
What happened there?
Bless you, Big Lou.
Thank you.
Michigan Daily article from that game. I'm gonna hang it in my room.
All right, I see what you're talking about now with Dexter Lawrence.
It's pretty bad.
Dallas Turner would have 2 tackles for loss against the Colts. That didn't happen. So the Vikings would go 9-8. As you could tell by the title of our live stream here, that's not the case. And at the beginning of the season, I said Jackson Dart would win the Heisman. He wasn't even a finalist. Wasn't even in the top 10. Kyle McCord got in over him.
Kyle McCord got a few Heisman votes.
Kyle McCord had a great year. He's deserving of it.
Who is that kid? Who does he play for? Is he a quarterback?
I
don't know anything about him.
He was the Ohio State quarterback last year, and then after they lost to Michigan, they basically ran him out, and now he plays for Syracuse, and he had an insane year.
That Rich Eisen 18-minute rant about Michigan beating Ohio State for the 4th straight year is comedy gold.
Awesome. It's the first thing I listened to that Monday.
I was so excited after seeing the final result go up. A questionable predictions that I had: Tua leading the league in passing yards, not going to happen. Caleb Williams breaking the rookie passing touchdown record, unless he throws 10 touchdowns on Sunday. Mahomes throwing for over 5,000 yards. Not even close. Not even going to throw for 4,000.
He can still do it if he has 550 yards per game, is what I calculated. It
will not happen.
I said Big Lou would be under 50% for predictions. He's only had 3 come off the board all year.
He's got a lot here, though, luckily.
I know. Carson Beck being the first quarterback in the 2025 draft is that's definitely a prediction of all time. If he didn't have that middle of the year where he threw 12 picks in 6 games, I mean, maybe.
It's also a possibility he doesn't even go to the draft, so I don't know what we do there with that prediction.
So is Shedeur Sanders the shoe-in for the first?
I would think so.
I mean, he's not the shoe-in, but it's likely.
Okay. Is he
Ewers might not even go to the draft either.
Ewers isn't going to go. Ewers is going to return, I think. Or he's going to transfer.
He's going to transfer. There's something about a huge NIL package.
Yeah, he supposedly has a $10 million NIL package. Or no, it's $4 million.
I saw $4 million. $10 million for Quinn Ewers is wild. But
no, it's 4.
Is Shedeur gonna, if he's the first quarterback, would he be the number 1 pick, or is there other position players?
Depends on what team ends up with that number 1 pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We shall highlight your prediction, Matt. He said the Gophers would go 7-5 and win a bowl game. Well, they went 7-5 on the dot. So pending a bowl game, that could be an insane prediction right there.
What they're rating for?
All right. Can I interrupt you? I have to go here in a couple minutes. You want me to review my predictions and then? All right.
Yes, you can, Big Lou.
So my first prediction is going to be a classic Vikings. It's the Vikings will have a 10-point lead and lose a game on one of the games the rest of the season.
Does this include playoffs or just regular season?
Yes, playoffs included.
Okay.
I just want to also highlight real quick, Big Lou, you're welcome for me spell checking that prediction because you did spell something wrong.
I'm not surprised. And my next one,
just for the sake of everyone watching, I'm not going to say what you spell wrong.
I know what I spelled wrong now. My next one is Brian Flores will still be a coach on the staff next season.
Nice.
50-50 toss-up.
That would be excellent.
And you said, Joel, you were saying it's supposed to be rainy on the CX game, right?
I think so. That's what I saw today. I looked up the weather.
All right. 5 or more turnovers in the CX Vikings game then.
Wow.
It's going to be rainy.
Sloppy old football game on our hands.
Yep. That's my predictions. But, it was good being on a podcast with y'all again. I got to head out here, but hopefully we can do a couple more over winter break.
Sir, Big Lou. So. Big Lou, I just got a text from someone from the Army that's asking me if I'm interested. Was that you that sent that?
No.
I got an email a couple weeks back from the National Guard.
Yeah, I just got a call or text from them the other day.
How do you feel about Navy?
Navy, they shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have beat Army.
don't want to talk about it.
But I see you guys later.
Yes. See ya, Big Lou. Well, Big Lou's gone. We're gonna fix his spelling error on this one.
I didn't even look at that one. I was looking at the very first one.
We might as well.
Is Brian Flores wrong?
Yeah. There.
That's what I thought.
There
I
we
put
go.
in the chat what his first
Loose.
spelling error. Loose.
Loose. He will loose the game. All right. Well, as we look at Sam O here, he's got a few here. All right.
I had a few come off that were red. So I said Ohio State will beat Penn State by 10 plus points. It was I think it was 20-13 that game ended up being. TJ Hawkinson will score a touchdown. He did not. Joe Flacco, if I remember that game correctly, I think he had like a terrible day.
He threw for 179.
Yeah. So
That
not
game
great.
did nothing.
Vikings will win the North. That is
Still possible.
possible. I don't know how likely it is, but
Jaden Daniels is pretty much the front runner right now in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting.
him or Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Well, with that, I suppose we can begin our predictions. I think I made 4 predictions. I thought of 4 good ones.
I did as well.
So,
I have 4 too. So
oh, perfect. I thought of 4 good ones. So I just
Rip
did
them
4.
all, Joel.
All right, we're gonna rip them. First prediction was, there we go. The Vikings and Lions will be either Saturday or Sunday Night Football, and by that I mean Saturday 3 p.m. Probably not. Saturday night 7 p.m. or whatever. Probably still won't be, but could be, or Sunday Night Football. So no Sunday 12 or 3 p.m. game. We'll have to see. If it's for seeding and stuff, then it could definitely be a Saturday game. But
The
if
Saturday
the division
night game
and
would be
conference
cool.
are on the line, Sunday Night Football is
it'll be
easy
Sunday
pick.
night. Yeah.
So there. That was the first one. I'm pretty sure my predictions kind of go up in intensity. That one was not a very meaty prediction. Next one was, this had to do with the rain, which is why I thought of this one. Aaron Jones will have at least 100 rushing yards, 25 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown against the Seahawks. 3
Well, I'm
item
in
parlay.
fantasy playoffs, so I hope that happens.
Yeah, so 3 item parlay there. Touchdown can be rushing or receiving, doesn't really matter, or passing if he really wants. I don't care what he does, but he will account for all of those on Sunday. Third prediction, Teddy Bridgewater will be on the Vikings coaching staff by week 1 of next season.
That's an interesting one.
I think he wants to return as like a backup quarterback.
Yeah. So
I don't think that's likely.
if Josh McCown goes somewhere else, I could definitely see him becoming the quarterback's coach here. He just coached his high school team to a state title, and what's to say?
Oh, yeah, I think if he wants an NFL job somewhere, he can definitely get it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Teddy Bridgewater was a great player. It was really health issues, obviously, in his career. Outside of that, he definitely had potential. So, seems like he could be a good coach for sure.
Yeah.
So, we'll see if that happens. Final prediction that I made. Karl Anthony Towns will be called for at least 2 fouls in the first quarter against the Wolves tonight.
That's gonna happen. That's gotta happen.
You want to go risky and go 2 offensive fouls?
2 offense.
Should I do it? Might as
No.
well. No, that's
You're
that's
good.
a tough
Just
pull.
knowing Karl Anthony Towns.
I was juggling around some predictions. Also thought about saying he would be called for at least 1 technical at some point in the game. And
I mean,
also
he'll have
thought
2.
about
He'll
what?
probably have 2 stupid fouls. That's just a shoe-in, but
And I also thought about saying he'll score less than Anthony Edwards, but I feel like that's just bound to happen anyway. So yeah, he'll have at least 2 fouls in the first quarter in tonight's game against the Wolves. So yeah, that was what I whipped up here. On to Matt for his 4 predictions that
You
he's got.
want to unveil mine?
Oh yeah, I can. All right, here we go.
All right. I think Kirk Cousins will be the Atlanta QB1 by the end of the regular season. I think it's very risky throwing a rookie quarterback in the thick of a division race. I don't know if Penix was going to play well or not, but I feel like if the Falcons want to make it to the playoffs and potentially make a run, they need to go back to Kirk Cousins. I like the move in terms of trying to get his head straight, but they need Kirk if they want to do anything.
So for specificity purposes, this only counts if he starts a game. Is that right? Or
Yeah.
if he plays at all? Okay. That's what I assumed. Because if he comes in, then he's not necessarily the quarterback one. So if he starts a game, we'll give it to you. Where do you guys think he'll end up next year? I don't remember if this was during the episode. I feel like we talked about this earlier.
Kirk?
Yeah. Where could he go?
I think he has to stay on the Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't think they can cut him.
They're not going to cut him.
They're in
But
such
I
a
don't think
weird
a team will take his
situation.
contract either in a trade.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, though.
Unless Atlanta's willing to pay a lot of it.
Could be wrong, but this is what I saw this week. I'm pretty sure he has offset language in his contract, which is the same thing Russell Wilson had with the Broncos, which pretty much means he can play anywhere he wants. In that case, Broncos eat pretty much all his money. So in this case, the Falcons have to eat pretty much all his money either way. So whether he's on the team or not, the Falcons are just going to be eating a bunch of money. Something with how the contract is written. It has
Let's
to
see,
do
if
with
they
that.
release him post June 1st, they'll eat $40 million in dead cap.
Yeah. So like what Russell Wilson pretty much did was he signed for a cheap, well, for the Steelers, it was cheap money, even though the Broncos were eating a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk could do the same thing if he wanted, but obviously that would only be if the Falcons moved off of him and moved on to Penix. So who knows? Such a weird situation. It feels like there's no right answer. There's only wrong answers there, but we'll see. All right, we'll keep going. Your second one.
I think the Eagles will be kings of the NFC going into the playoffs.
Wow. Pretty sure they have a very low chance, but it's possible. Definitely.
We're all tied right now.
Yeah.
But then
I
it goes
think
off of
without the
strength of
Lions have-
schedule, which I think the Lions or the Vikings would have the upper hand if I'm not wrong.
Because I know the Vikings, if the Vikings obviously won out, they would win the tiebreakers over the Lions and Eagles. It's some weird thing. I don't remember off the top of my head. The Vikings and Eagles tiebreaker comes down to strength of schedule, which the Vikings, or strength of victory, which the Vikings lead in now, unless like the Falcons go 3-0 or something like that happens. It's this whole weird scenario. I guess I don't know what the Eagles actually, the Eagles are ahead of them because otherwise, or no, the Lions would be ahead of the Eagles, or else the Eagles would be number one right now. So,
yeah,
low chance, possibility though. We'll see. All right, number 3.
There will be no issues on Netflix streaming these 2 football games. They learn their mistakes from Paul and Tyson.
I hope.
One can hope.
Great prediction.
Well, what's also funny is next day, though, Squid Game 2 comes out, and that's going to garner a lot of traffic, too. Now, the difference between streaming it, like a live streaming event, and everyone hopping on just to watch the show's different. So hopefully both events do fine.
Yeah. So what's the schedule again? So it's Chiefs, Texans, or is that this week?
That's this week. It's Pittsburgh, Kansas City.
2 pretty
And then
good
it's-
games.
That's a good game.
And then it's Houston, Baltimore.
Oh, those are
That's
good
the
games.
games on Netflix.
Those are some actually good games that we got this year.
And
Yep.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what I put for this one. We'll
right.
find out. We'll find
Fourth
out
one.
together. Oh yeah, Chiefs are going to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. My reasoning behind this is I'm 6 for 30 in predictions. The percentage is going to go down somehow. I think the percentage is 20%. Everything I say, the opposite happens. So reverse psychology. This prediction will be the reason the Chiefs will not be in the Super Bowl.
I think they're going to be in the AFC Championship, though.
I really hope it's Buffalo.
I really hope the Bills beat them.
I hope Josh
Knock
Allen
them
and the
out.
power of friendship and Haley Steinfeld get that team over the top.
I will say, if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, everyone online and on Twitter is going to lose their marbles.
Oh, it's going to be
If
a
that-
heyday.
if that happens.
I will be one of them.
So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. All right.
All right.
Hold on.
So taking it over here, my first prediction is what I was talking about earlier. I think the Vikings are going to go 1-2 the rest of the season. If I had to exactly say how, I think they're going to lose in Seattle this week. I think they're going to go beat the Packers, and then I think they're going to lose to the Lions week 18.
I will say, I'm more than I feel like most Viking fans, I'm worried for their game next week against the Packers. Because I feel like if the Vikings win this week, everyone's going to look ahead to the week 18 game and be like, oh, well, if the Vikings win this game, we'll be playing for the division.
Yeah.
I'm just fearful of them overlooking this game or that game and then not showing up and everyone being disappointed. But
then I have another
maybe I'm
one.
just fearful.
This is another one that could probably potentially be a receipt one we look at later, but the college football playoff semifinals is going to be Texas and Tennessee, and then Penn State and Georgia. So Texas has to go through Matt's Clemson.
Okay, if Texas has such an easy route to the semifinal,
and then they have to play Arizona State. So
I really hope. I know this is a little tangent, but you do not see it in any other sporting event where just because you win a conference title, you get a bye.
No,
that cannot be a thing next year.
It's a stupid system. And then Boise State's the 3. It's ridiculous. So I think Tennessee is a good team. I think if they can beat Ohio State, they're going to beat. I think they beat Oregon too. Oregon. Yeah, I think Oregon's going to lose. They've struggled stopping the run, and Tennessee has a great running back.
Penn State also has an easy track to the semifinal, but the difference with Penn State is they never win big games. That's the whole narrative around James Franklin.
So here's my take on Penn State right now. So James Franklin can't win the big one, so I think he's going to lose. He'd lose this Georgia game, but he wins the games he's supposed to win, and I think Penn State is supposed to beat SMU, and I think Penn State's supposed to beat Boise State too. I think Boise's way overrated. I think they're going to get killed by whoever. If they play Penn State, especially, I think
it's just a fun story with Ashton Genty.
It's a cool story, but I mean, I just think if they face Penn State would be the best run defense they'd play, and they'd shut down Genty, and Boise would be done. And then Georgia, I mean, I would pick Georgia to win the national championship, but Carson Beck's going to be out. So that their backup quarterback's
playoff.
Yeah, he's done.
Ew,
I don't know if it's been officially announced, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be done. My next one is Sam Darnold will get a 4-year, $30 million AAV in free agency. I think that's pretty common sense. And then my last one is Brian Flores will be a NFL head coach next season.
I remember making that prediction last year too.
Who do you think would actually pay Sam Darnold for at least, or not pay, but for at least 4 years? I would not give him more than 30. I'm sorry.
He's going to be the top quarterback on the market this year.
Who else is on the market other than...
It's him and Marcus Mariota.
That's a sad market.
Because it was going to be, remember there was a whole discourse around Dak this offseason, but then he got extended. So
we're going to look at NFL free agent quarterbacks. See who is decent outside of him. Positions. Quarterback. All right, we got Darnold. Wow. Zach Wilson is number 2 right now in average annual value. That's becoming a free agent. That tells you everything you need to know. Jacoby Brissett,
Trey Lance, Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota, Drew Lock, Jarrett Stidham, Andy Dalton,
Jameis Winston, the GOAT.
I guess Justin Fields is. That could be an interesting name.
There's Sam Darnold's the only decent starting caliber player out of this list. Everyone else is mid.
Nick Mullins.
Mid.
Tommy DeVito.
Watch your mouth, Joel. Don't call him
Where did Tommy DeVito come from?
Illinois.
Illinois.
Started at
he-
Syracuse,
Was he
transferred
drafted
to
or
Illinois.
like where
I
where
think
did
he was
he-
undrafted.
He was undrafted.
Yeah.
He was pretty good in college, though.
Oh man. So yeah. I suppose.
All
As we-
right. Hate to be that guy. Got to take off.
Okay.
Pleasure.
No problem. Take care. We'll see you later. Well, Matt has left, but that does not stop us. We move into game picks. After a quick look at our stats, I'm still on the leaderboard with the most, having a surprising start to the year. I'm trying to throw some farther passes downfield to make it more fun now. Although, don't want to defend myself too much, but I'll say I feel like I haven't been throwing a lot of checkdowns. They've all been decent predictions for the most part.
Yeah.
That have happened, but we'll see. Sam Z's been awful, one could say. Big Lou 2 for 3. Matt is at a 20% clip, and you are at a 33% clip. So that is the updated stats. Game picks, if we look at the top here, a lot of people haven't really put theirs in, so it's really just Matt and I for the most part here. I lead him by about 5%, and yeah. Well, as we go down, we'll find where we are. All down here. Everyone but Sam Z's made their predictions. You probably won't because, yeah. Starting it off, Thursday Night Football, Broncos-Chargers, the first ever Thursday night flex in the history of the NFL. Well, Big Lou and I going with the Broncos, 2 going with the Chargers. I think this is actually a pretty good game.
Yeah. I gotta go with my guy Jim Harbaugh, though.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be a rebound game. The Broncos got cooked last week.
Yeah.
If they want to make the playoffs, they kind of need to win. Well, I mean, both teams really are on the same boat here. But we'll see. Moving into the Saturday slate, Texans and Chiefs. Everyone's going with probably Mahomes, assuming he plays. Otherwise, who is it? Isn't it Carson Wentz? I saw came in the game.
Yeah, Wentz is their
What a
backup.
guy. What a guy. Whatever happened to Chad Henne? Did he retire?
I have no idea.
What happened?
Oh, yeah, he retired.
Oh, what a legendary
Michigan
backup. Chad Henne needs to be on. You ever see those commercials? I don't know if it's Geico or Progressive, whatever, where they have the backups.
Backup commercial, yeah.
Yeah, he should be on one of those. He would fit in. We got Steelers and Ravens. Another split. 2 going Baltimore, 2 going Pittsburgh. This is going to be a great game, probably either way. In the AFC North. As we move into the Sunday games, we got some good ones. Starting with Titans Colts, not a great game. Everyone's going with the Colts. Lions and the Bears. Everyone's going with the Lions. Yeah. No one wanted to risk it. What about Brian Flores in Chicago being the head coach there?
I think they're going to an offensive guy. I don't think Chicago would hire Brian. He might get an interview, but I think they're going to try to. I don't know. I think they're going to get an offensive.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Also, in the comments, we've got user 636 here. How much do y'all make from ad revenue? $0.00. But we don't need that. We love football. We don't need that ad revenue. Well, as we move along, another AFC North, we got the Browns and the Bengals. Everyone's going with the Bengals. They could not stop. Who'd they play? The Titans last week? They couldn't put them away. It was like, I don't even know what the score of that game was, but like, yeah. It was 37-27.
Yeah.
They could not.
No one could stop anybody.
Should I be scared of the snap you just sent?
No.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, we got the Giants against Michael Penix and the Falcons. I think I picked this game before. Well, yeah, still going Atlanta either way, even with Penix.
Yeah, I mean, they could start probably me at quarterback and beat the Giants.
The real question, has anyone picked the Giants to win a game this year? I don't think so. NYG. There, take that out. No one, or else that would pop up. No one has picked the Giants to win a game this year, or else I'm searching NYG for Giants and they don't pop up. So that means no one this whole season has picked the Giants to win a game.
Well, it makes sense.
It continues. This is a good one. We got the Eagles and the Commanders. Everyone's going Philly. Good game, though, for sure.
Really good game.
It's too bad. It's too bad in this area. I think we're getting the Rams and Jets game. Eagles and Commanders would be so much better.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Lions Bears too for all the Vikings fans that want to see the Lions. Both of those games would be so much better. But in the area of Minnesota, I know it's Rams Jets this week. Well, Rams Jets. Everyone went with the Rams. Cardinals and Panthers. Everyone also went with the Cardinals. Jags and the Raiders. We got a split here. We got 2 going Vegas, 2 going Jacksonville. This is kind of a bad game. Both teams are cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to like the Raiders after the fact that they just lost to the dysfunctional Falcons. So that's that. We got the Pats.
I didn't watch that game.
What was that?
I didn't even watch the first game. It looked pretty ugly.
Yeah.
It's like a 15-9 game or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got the Pats and the Bills. Everyone's going Bills. Niners and Dolphins. Everyone's going Niners. Vikings and Seahawks. All right, we got a split here. It looks like me and Big Lou have gone with the Vikings. You and Matt have gone with the Seahawks. Matt tends to go with the road team because he's superstitious like that. But I know you talked about it earlier. So
yeah, I'm picking until the Vikings win there, I'm going to pick the Seahawks every time they go.
It's fair. It's definitely fair. Vikings should, even with injuries, rain, everything going on, Vikings should be able to win this game. They are just simply better. But obviously, we will see for ourselves on Sunday. Bucks and the Cowboys on Sunday night. Everyone's going with the Bucks, knocking the Cowboys out.
It's just not.
I can't wait to see what Jerry Jones, what comments he makes after the Dallas Cowboys get eliminated.
It's always
that's going to be interesting. And last but not least, Saints and Packers on Monday night. And everyone is going with the Packers.
Yeah.
So that does it. It's too bad, though, that the Vikings-Packers game next week can't get moved. It's such a good game. But it has to stay on Fox. So that's for anyone. I see people are on Twitter that don't understand this all the time. The NFL, when they put the Vikings-Packers game on CBS at the beginning of the year, they forfeited the rights to this game being moved because it has to be on Fox because the other network got one game. So the other one has to get this game.
Yeah.
When they did that, they forfeited pretty much.
Yeah. I've even seen some fake reports about it's not getting flexed.
So it could be a 3:00 game, but no matter what, it can't leave Fox. So it's either going to be a 12 or 3:00 game. They have until Tuesday of next week to move it. So that just goes out to any fans that may be watching this that are confused as to why that game can't get moved, because it definitely is better than Falcons and Commanders. So that is the reasoning behind it.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're going to flex the Dallas-Philadelphia game. As much as the Cowboys suck, that's like a division. I mean, the Vikings-Packers is too, but I could see them just sticking with that.
Yeah. So we will see. So we look at Week 17, I'm just looking at what games are good. Seahawks or Rams could potentially be a division on the line or playoff spot on the line. So that one could be of interest. Chiefs Broncos could be interesting, maybe, but who knows? Trying to see who else. Niners Cardinals could be. I don't think the Niners are eliminated yet. Maybe they are eliminated, but if not, they're on the brink of
elimination.
So otherwise, Bengals Steelers could maybe be a good game. But obviously, everyone looks at Vikings Lions and knows it's unanimously the best game on that slate. So we'll see what happens. But there is our game picks, everybody. We'll go back there if anyone wants to look at it again. Lots of unanimouses, but also some differing ones. And that, I believe, that'll do it for this episode. Any final comments you would like to make? So did Michigan win the Big Ten, or did they lose they were in the Big Ten championship, weren't they, in football?
Michigan was not good this year. They went 6-6.
It was Oregon and
or
someone.
7-5. It was Oregon and Penn State.
Oh,
Oregon won like a shootout.
got
It
it.
was like a 45-37 game.
Got it.
Michigan's playing in bowl game, the ReliaQuest Bowl against Alabama.
It's so weird now with all the new teams in the Big Ten. When I was looking at Matt's prediction about Ohio State winning the Big Ten, I was totally expecting, okay, it's going to be Ohio State and Michigan. And then I look it up, and the Big Ten championship is neither team. And I'm like, what?
It's
Like,
gotten
It's
crazy.
so interesting seeing all these alignments. So does the Pac-12 not exist at all anymore, or what's the scoop with that?
There's 2 teams left, and now they're adding a couple Mountain West. They're adding a bunch of Mountain West teams, but it's not going to be a power conference.
Yeah. So that's interesting to see how it's evolving. College football keeps evolving. All the college sports, but especially football.
Yeah.
Overall does. And obviously I don't keep up super a lot with college football, but I like the 12-team playoff, and I think it's going to be good. Like you were saying, some of the seeding is weird. But
I think it's
the overall idea of a 12-team playoff as opposed to 4, good choice by college football.
There's so many more big games in college football now too that like means something.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's been just college football's been awesome this year. I watched a lot of it. So
when does the first round start? Is it on Saturday, or are there things before?
It's Indiana game.
Gotcha.
3:30, and then the 7 o'clock. Like,
yeah. Well, now I think that about does it. Unless you've got any closing comments you'd like to make. That does it for this one. So thanks everybody for watching this episode. We will see you guys, maybe Sunday, maybe sometime in the future. But as always, take care. Everybody have a good afternoon. And as always, SKOL Vikings. We'll see you guys again sometime soon.